Hello everyone and welcome back to Two Bros Game Night. I am your host, Older Bro.
I'm your other host, Younger Bro.
And today we continue in National Park Girls, where Eve is going on a pretty short jog. A light jog. Actually, it should probably be a heavy jog. In fact, just run.
Alright, you rocks want a piece of me?
Yeah.
Come get it.
She doesn't have the gun anymore. Annie's lost her gun. I sway from side to side, my sense of direction guided by the hailstorm of bullets whooshing past me. The stampede of rocks rushes behind me, while the earth shakes beneath me.
You little demons! I'll blast you all back to hell! Each and every one of you!
When I'm this dizzy and sloshed, it's hard to make out anything other than her clenched teeth, twisted into a grin as she fires from her revolver. At least somebody's having a good time.
Having a good time.
I don't look back as the creatures screech and holler. Whenever it feels like one is gaining on me, a bullet flies by, followed by a withering death yowl. Harmless rock creature! There's a familiar chirp. It's similar to the animalistic yodeling from the things rushing towards... Is this all a dream?
I have no idea what the fuck's going on. It might be a weird tequila fantasy.
I don't know.
Some sort.
The yodeling from the things rushing towards the shack, except dopier and slower. She told me that before I got here, one of them planted themselves in front of the shack and never left. Its half-lidded eyes followed me as I staggered
Try
by.
to hold down the fort, wino!
A black and purple blur kicks open the door and bolts past me. Her coat flows behind her as she sprints away from the cabin and shoots me, the bird, before shooting more of the rocks. The massive stones and boulders curve towards her and give chase, taking the bait with zero complications. If only they knew it made her job easier. All she had to do now is turn around and unload every so often. For as many of them as they are, they can't seem to put their heads together long enough to create a single brain cell. I mean, they're made of rock. The circus disappears over the horizon, along with the dipping sun. By the time the sound of gunshots and cursing fades away, the other end of the sky is a dusty blue. I kneel, but mostly trip, down to one knee and inspect the boarded-up window. It's completely torn up, singed with bullet holes, from that hothead blasting shots through it, no doubt. Now where's that hammer? Right there. Huh? And now there's two hammers. I glance at the piece of 2x4 I was going to use. There's two of that too. And now they're spinning. That's fun. Spinning only exists to signal to me that I am in fact nauseous. Finally, where I want to be. Pretty rad. Great excuse for not giving a shit. She can screech at me for not fixing it later. I crawl to my corner and flop into the sleeping bag. It's thin, and I can feel the texture of the concrete. It's not so much of a comfort. I peel my face off of the bag and stare at the diorama display of the few possessions I still own. A stack of notebooks that I haven't touched since arriving, and the tiny animal skulls on top of it. Just some rodents and birds I put a special request in for my new roommate here. Only if she found them lying around. This music. Some of them are mostly just broken shards and might not even be skulls for all I know. But I've assessed that they are. That's all that matters, the perception of it all. Other than that, I'm sure I have a few bottles and receipts for those bottles stuffed away somewhere. I prop my body up and sit down staring at it. I stare at this a lot. A lot. What kind of death do these critters have? Considering the shape they're in, it must have been grisly. No, there's no bears here. This is a desert. Maybe there's one, hell, let's say it was a mouse that curled up, went to sleep, and didn't wake up. But I doubt it. Did they have enough self-awareness to feel a lack of control when the end came? If a bird gets plucked out of the air by a cat, does it keep fighting until it physically can't, or does it eventually accept what's coming? I hope it's the latter. Swimming against the inevitable, when the current is so powerful and overwhelming, only serves to override the flame of life that existed. It gets defined by its demise. Let the memory stand as a monument to it. My God, this is going on.
Yeah, seriously,
Let
just
the
knock
memory
out!
stand as the monument to what it's been. The futility of life, nature, plants, universes. It's only the sacred star guiding anything. Conclusion is the only certainty, and decay is its great reward. Dignity. That's what these creatures died with. How everything should go. It could be possible. I think it is.
No control.
That is true.
I'm so fucking high right now.
No, she's so fucking low right now. I shut my eyes and take a deep cleansing breath through my nose.
No wisdom, no power.
These are too logical for your drunk ass.
No fear.
All my belly aching about caring and not caring, the environment, my job, my role. None of it has objective meaning because it's all headed towards the same place.
I have no control. No wisdom, no power.
Chaos control.
It makes me think of Yosemite, her fear of obliteration of personality, nothing to mark that a person or thing was ever there. It makes me think of how wrong she was. Because if that's the end result of everything that matters, then obliteration is the key. It's destiny. It's liberation. And
I
so...
have no control.
Switch!
Can't you drive this thing any faster?
Of course I can, but then I'd be going over the speed limit. Yellowstone, I admire your dedication to traffic laws, but I think the situation warrants it.
We're in the middle of the desert. It doesn't even apply.
But I don't want to be irresponsible. If I am, you'll go and yell at me again.
I'm yelling at you to do it!
I love you, so please don't take offense to me saying this or anything. But if you don't pick up the speed, I'm going to yell at you.
You are yelling at me! Zion said she would yell at her. Damn.
Just as Yellowstone accelerates the car, one of those boulder vermin jumps in front of us. Too slow to react, Yellowstone rams it down. It scrapes against the bottom of the car as we run over
What
it.
was that? One of those things from before? Just how many of them are there?
Thousands.
Enough to take over the world.
I look in the rearview mirror. Behind us, a rampaging pack of living, moving rocks are stampeding after us.
I don't think you want to know.
The sun is already set, and it's starting to get dark. If this keeps up for too much longer, we won't be able to see them until we're right on top of one, or they're on top of us. Well, there it is. Crash. One cannons through the windshield and crushes the center console. Yellowstone goes pale. I can only think of how close it would have been to my head if we were just a few inches off.
Throw it out! Throw it out!
I'm driving.
Which
I'm
is why you should
driving!
be the one to do something.
Yosemite, don't make me unbuckle my
Thing shrieks a gurgling shark shriek. It propels itself at my arm. I lean back in my seat and grab it out of the air. It bites my finger. The granite teeth stop at the bone.
You awful
Ooh.
little pebble.
Toss it!
Yellowstone pushes a button on her side of the car and the window rolls down. I heave it out the window and pray it doesn't crash into the side door. The wind rips it away, tumbling into the other rocks.
Girls, I'm scared.
As you should be!
It'll be okay, Yellowstone. Those rocks are so heavy.
Just
that if
go.
we get hit by one, the blunt force trauma will knock us out immediately.
You're not helping!
A quick plunge into nothingness.
I'd rather avoid experiencing nothingness.
Well, if it's nothingness, then technically you wouldn't be able to experience any. Non-existence is funny that way. Golly, that's bleak.
Despite the direness of our current situation, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was amused at having a conversation like this at 80, 85, 90 miles an hour. Sweat could be streaming down my cheeks and wind could be blasting through my hair, but as long as I'm surrounded by the individuals I've deemed worthy, perhaps any scenario could be enjoyable in a certain light. With no guarantee of a future, or in the case of the three of us in this vehicle, a past, what else is there to existing than the present we share with those we love? Because I do love them, Zion and Yellowstone and Eve, but I'm not saying her name because there's some reason. Yup, there's a fierce tug. At first I think it's Yellowstone mishandling the vehicle, but when I glance over, her arms are stick straight and her eyes are gripped around the steering wheel. Another tug. My body remains in place, but my essence is being yanked forward. It's a calling, an urge. It's knowledge screaming out inside me, telling me where I must go.
Are you girls feeling that too?
You betcha. It's very strong.
It's a Super Saiyan!
A grim shadow casts itself across Yellowstone's face. It squeezes the wheel tighter. Zion winces at the pressure, as if resisting gravity itself.
We're getting close.
Do we have enough gas left? What if we get stuck out here?
Then we'll teleport.
Yeah. I look in the side mirror. The stampeding rocks
Or
are kicking
bang
up
this
enough
car, come back later.
dust to blot out the stars.
She has a point. It's not going
Make
to
love, not
now
oil!
at all times.
I didn't notice her shirt.
Yep, like she had it in the previous chapters. Beads of sweat trickle down the side of Yellowstone's face. She tries to reassure us with a shaky grin. A trembling thumbs up. Tries.
Don't give it another hoot, holler, or heckle. Well, Yellowstone ain't gonna let that happen.
I hear the metal clang as she stomps down on the gas pedal. Tires screech. Zion is sent flying back into her seat. The speedometer goes from 90 to 120. We're going so fast that when I look outside, it feels like we're stopped in place and the rest of the world's zipping by. I see that at pretty much any speed. 15 miles to empty.
Let's burn rubber!
Yellowstone, maybe not this fast.
We're coming, Evo!
Her eyes are shut. The steering wheel spins against the grip.
Not if you crash, we aren't. Do you even know what you're doing? Yellowstone! Yellowstone!
And we switch.
Oh, there's a car in the living room. Love that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. An entire drum line goes off in my head. Snares, quads, bass, cymbals. Why are you still awake?
How are you not blacked out?
It's all there, pounding against my skull and yanking me into wakefulness. A wet groan drips from my mouth along with a string of saliva and a clump of vomit that was clogging my throat. I cough, my cheeks ripple, and I feel the wetness my face is lying in. A puddle of thick yellow and unidentifiable chunks.
Talk about no control.
Well, to be fair, you are literally nutrition deprived. You haven't even eaten Yosemite and Yellowstone's pancakes.
The pancakes.
Every limb and appendage is sore, like they were all yanked out of their sockets, then shoved back into place. My legs wobble and fold onto themselves at the first few times before I finally make it to my feet. At least it is impossible for her to escape them coming to get her, because she literally does not have the energy to run. It's dark outside. The shack is darker. That's impossible. There's literally a light on in here. How long was I out?
Oh, she did get knocked out.
It could have been minutes, hours. The way time works here, maybe even days. Decades can melt into millennia, then melt into eternity, then melt back into seconds. Big bang, big crunch, rinse and dry until I'm at the ground. At least I know it doesn't matter. I bend over to fish what's left of the bottle of gin off the ground. A stern force shoves me. Huh? A freeze. Then it happens again. Like a pair of hands pushing me towards the door, except my body stays anchored in place, and it's my mind that's being pushed away. It's a familiar feeling. Warm, but opposing. Uncompromising.
Oh, no.
Yosemite?
God damn it. What am I even saying? It must be the desert. A hellish white canvas to paint whatever meaning I want onto. Or the lack of grub. Or, no duh, the booze. Drink enough tequila and a beautiful garden of blue agaves will start sprouting in your liver. Messes with your head. Must be it. Except it happens again. Stronger. Less of a push, more of a drag.
It can't be.
It's impossible. She's more than 400 miles away from here. They all are. She would never. Not for me. I'm a moody terror. She's an egotistical pain. There's something to prove. Yeah, the something to prove is that she loves you. The idea of her doing something like this is totally plausible. Ah, damn it. I break down and follow the urge to the door with all the grace and balance of a cabin boy with amputated sea legs. I swing open the door and look on the horizon line. The Milky Way hangs in the sky, glimmering above the cracked ground, the remnants of what used to be a lake. Now all that's left is the grandstand. A sawtooth monolith of rock that watches over this place like it's the guard tower of hell. Heh, nothing. What'd you expect? Before I can turn around to go inside, however, an engine roars in the distance. 2 headlights peek over the band.
No way.
Well, hey, that car's about to go through the windows now.
I
Determined
said the
little
living
boogers,
room.
ain't ya?
Through some miracle, Yellowstone has managed not to crash. Through some additional miracle, she's also managed to throw off most of the awful rock creatures.
Not to interrupt, because I'm aware of the seriousness of the situation we currently find ourselves in, and I certainly don't want to speak out of turn and distract either of you from the important task at hand, or keep us from
Sweetie, I love you, and I'm not upset. Get on with it!
We're about to crash!
Yellowstone glares daggers at me, swords and butcher knives too.
With a please and thank you. Go ahead, cutie pie. They're gaining!
Bang, bang, into the room! The 2 rocks that have kept up with this pound into the vehicle. My back stiffens with each impact. Come on, we're so close now.
Look, right there!
A cabin in the wood. No, desert.
Nah, it's desert.
I point at the shambles of a building in the distance,
A cabin
illuminated
in
by
the
our
rough.
headlights, alone in the middle of the desert. Of course she is.
In that hunk of junk?
Of course she is.
Well, I guess it does kind of suit her.
Of course it does. Bang, bang.
Dang it, this is a rental!
They crash it. Who gives a shit? They're leaving here with a teleport. They aren't gonna fucking take the rental back. They crash into us again. There's a rattle and then a clank. The back bumper falls off and kicks up a plume of sand. How is this thing still moving? With a wheezing cough, the engine sputters. Yellowstone and I exchange looks of terror as the speedometer drops and the vehicle slows to an unceremonious stop.
They hit the gas.
Nope, not good. Ladies, it was a pleasure.
Bang, bang. Like insects, the creatures chatter as they propel themselves at us.
Okay, out of the car.
What? You can't get our chain or something?
We're gonna have to run.
It's either in here or out there. Take your pick. But I'm not giving up until I give her a piece of my mind.
And I'm out. I swing the door open, slamming into one of the rocks. It tumbles back.
I, for one, welcome oblivion.
Then get out of the car. Zion opens her door. It smacks the other rock and sends it flying several feet. With any luck, that should keep these chunks of earth discard busy for a few moments. Yellowstone groans and tepidly steps out, careful to skirt around the stunned rock.
Yeesh, talk about agitating the gravel. These things sure are giving us a run for our money.
Yellowstone, we don't have any money. She looks down at the rock's dizzy face and smiles.
They're sort of cute, though.
Run.
It rolls to its center of balance and screeches.
Oh, look at the little teethies. Time to go, Yellowstone! You're gonna get eaten and digested!
Zion zips on by and nabs Yellowstone's wrist.
But, they have the neato cute fangs.
Just run?
The speed of Zion's flying gives Yellowstone no choice but to sprint. Once I'm sure they've gotten a move on, I break into a jog. I swing my arms back and forth, take medium-sized steps, and make sure to land on the soles of my feet, just like all the books said. Is she explaining how to run?
She's explaining
How to run like a human? Run, 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 run! Zion and Yellowstone catch up to me in under 5
Okay,
seconds.
Gohan, I'm going to teach you something that Piccolo says you've been struggling with. How to run.
Yeah. Precious, polite, perfect Zion giggles, hiding it with a delicate hand.
Please do try and keep up, Yosemite.
Even you.
You're slow. They pass me. I can't let this happen. I am Triumph. I am nature. They are nature too, and they're better at you. I'm terrified nature.
Just leave me behind like this.
Everything I read about running gets shot straight into my mind's discard pile. My steps are now bounding strides. My arms dangle at my side like a scarecrow. I swallow giant scoops of air, saliva sticking to my lips. When I catch up, I'm sweating through my clothes. I'm so thankful I didn't wear my jacket to this wretched place.
Exercise is stupid. Running is stupid.
But you look hot doing it, and not just because of the temperature.
Move those muscles, you Poindexter. We're in the hot
With all the enthusiasm of a personal trainer, Yellowstone cheers me on with applause. Though considering the smug grin on her face, I get the impression she finds my predicament more entertaining than anything.
Is this amusing to you?
Yes!
Man, you've got no idea. You should know by now that whatever you put into the world always comes back to you.
Switch? Why do we need to switch?
I don't know.
It has to be the liquor. It has to be the liquor.
It's the booze.
Must have drank enough for it to finally reach my eyes. It's gonna drown my pupils and give me one last hallucination before I finally go blind. But as the headlights get closer, it only feels more and more real. It's a beefy SUV, the kind I used to drive around back in Yosemite. Please tell me they didn't steal one. Oh, they absolutely stole one.
They stole one.
It comes to a slow, painful stop. Two stones emerge from the darkness and throw themselves at the car before both getting whacked in the face with doors. Yosemite steps out of the passenger seat. Oh my god, they actually did. Zion floats out of the car. Yellowstone follows. It's hard to make out their faces, and they're all wearing clothes more suited for the desert than their usual get-ups, but it's them. I know it's them. The stones wake up from their short nap and give chase.
Try to go drown it now.
Yeah, it's like just go in, just close the door, and be like,
Goes
well, I'm gonna
back
fucking
in.
die. Zion glides. Yellowstone rushes behind her. Yosemite lags behind. She briefly jogs before entirely giving up on such stupid notions, like pacing herself or form. Instead, she sprints like a drunken ragdoll. My heart stops, even though they're running. They're going so slow. They're all yelling at each other, screaming and laughing. Guess they haven't changed much, huh, guys? How are things? Is Jesse doing well? Does Yosemite still sit at the table every morning and read? Is Yellowstone's food still a heart attack on a platter? Hopefully Zion's not too lonely without Pup to play with anymore. I can't believe you. Not at all. With all your grace, power,
What
and
the
knowledge,
hell
I
is
can't
wrong
believe that
with
you
you?
morons would bring those stupid rocks directly to me! I catch my first glimpse of her standing outside a tumble-down shack that looks like it could collapse on her if she so much as breathed wrong, like I'm doing right now. Jaw loose, mouth open, she gawks at us, as if she's seen us for the first time. Come to think of it, it was at night when we first met. Yes, I remember it well. She tried to shoot me twice. But more than the attempted bullet to the skull, what I remember most was about that night was how sad she looked, hiding in a corner, on the verge of tears. Now, I'm sure we were partially to blame for that, but there was a hopelessness there, a hopelessness I noticed then and every day after. And looking at her now, her hair done in a sloppy ponytail, dirt caked to her skin, and stains painting her clothes, I can still see a hopelessness there. I see it more vividly than I ever have before. Eve Adams, I'm gonna fix what the world has done to you.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with... Well, look, I'm pretty sure that love conquers all or something, so... The three of us are only a yard from the shack now. I run ahead of the others, and then I'm within touching distance. So those doofy rock muppets, and I'm afraid they take a slightly bigger priority at the moment. There's even one sitting not too far from the shack, just staring at us. Is it sleeping? Dead? Does it even matter as long as it's not chasing us?
Just stand there, do something!
I am doing something!
Eve
Running
wakes up
away!
from whatever walking coma she's in and stumbles into action. What on earth happened to her coordination?
Crap. All right, hurry up and get inside.
Yellowstone and Zion are the first ones in.
Howdy-o, Evo. Hello, Miss Eve.
Shut the
Shut the
fuck
door,
up!
Shut the door!
Yeah, that's about right. She slams just in time for me to slip through. The rocks pound at the door, plowing... Could you stop saying plowing it, please? That's... Please? Plowing it hard enough for chunks of wood to come off with each impact.
Wood, hammer, nails. In that order. Stat!
Similar to how an ant can carry 10 times its weight, Zion drags over a stiff board of plywood from the other side of the room. Yellowstone, always wanted to be prepared, digs a hammer and nails out of her head. Eve stares at Yellowstone's open hand for just a second too long, and I take it instead. I swear you'd think she'd be used to it at this point. To be fair, she's drunk. Bang, bang, bang. Rocks continue to throw themselves at the door, splintering into pieces. Eve takes the wood and presses it against the door.
Yosemite!
On it!
The rocks are heavy, and their damage is significant, but Eve's strong enough to resist their force as I hammered the wood into place. One of the monsters screeches as it realizes brute force alone isn't going to do the trick this time. Need rest now. Eve and I collapse and slide against the door side to side. Our breath, heavy and tattered, heaves in and out in unison. Look, this would be a very weird setup for a sex scene, especially given that the children are here. So, could you maybe not put it into quite that detailed?
God.
We're close enough for me to feel her clammy skin against mine, which is fine. I'm just as sweaty. Even at night, it appears as if the desert heat doesn't let up.
Idiot.
Yeah, the word can hardly squeeze out of my dry throat. Hold on, what did she just say I was?
What? Me? You're the idiot!
Yeah. How dare she steal my words? I've been planning on calling her the idiot the moment since I saw her leave the park. This is theft.
Explain to me how I'm the idiot in this situation.
You brought those things straight to my shelter! Straight to me!
A shelter? Honey, I hate to break it to you, but this structure is barely standing. It may as well be your tomb.
That was the
Furthermore,
point!
I wasn't even aware that these things existed until half an hour ago. My conscience is clear. It's so clean. It sparkles, glimmers.
You are so full of it! Even if you didn't know, I would have thought that the personification of a national park was aware of the fact that, imagine this, the wilderness could be dangerous!
Again, valid.
And I would have thought that an angsting, bureaucratic goon so tied up in paperwork and her own indulgent journaling would have been self-absorbed enough to at least write a note or a letter for those she was leaving behind.
Shots fired!
I mean for there to be more bite, more venom, but not even halfway through, my voice breaks apart, and my words lose any power they may have contained. I don't try to fight the tears.
You just left when I needed you.
Wee!
She opens her mouth to speak, but nothing comes out. Her expression is
I'm getting
loose,
drunk again.
and her eyes are unfocused and glossy. Is this version of her equipped to process this?
Not even a catch you later, alligator. You just up and poofed. I wanted to talk, about Pup.
Yeah,
Nope.
there's no talking.
Get me drunk now. Well,
Brave little Zion. She and that furball were stuck together like glue. Her loss has been completely overshadowed by the rest of our drama, yet she's cutting straight to the core of her pain. No phony, half-hearted arguments here. Maybe it's Zion's eagerness, the willingness to be honest, that finally connects. Or perhaps it's the mention of the coyote. Whatever it is, it's enough to break the Reeves fog.
Don't talk to me about that. I already know it was my fault.
You're right. It was.
damn.
You were careless. You thought you were special enough to disregard common sense. People ended up hurt because of what you did. And you killed my friend because of it.
Zion steps forward. Her tiny body looms over both of us. The dim lighting of the room shines against her back, casting a large shadow of Reeve. I know she's just going to give her a hug, but I really want her to just, like, wrestling move, like, slam her to the fucking ground.
So I want you to make up for it.
Zion smiles. The shadow seems less stark. She extends both hands, one to me and one to Eve.
And come home.
I
No.
grab hold of her and lift myself up with no hesitation.
Yeah, it's been a total downer without ya.
I recollect myself with a single sniff.
I expect you to make the right choice.
Give me another beer.
Eve only stares, first at Zion's hand and then at Zion herself. She brushes her hand away.
Thanks for coming to see me.
She slumps over onto one knee and balances herself out by climbing to her other foot. Watching her try to stand is embarrassing.
I'm not much for the gushy stuff, but
She drifts over to the three of us and swings her arms around me and Yellowstone. A shiver sizzles down my spine with when her fingertips touch my skin. She is actually getting off on it. Zion floats up to Yellowstone's shoulder to get in on that rare moment of affection.
really have missed you guys.
We are at 10.
Yeah. Her voice shakes when she says it. So she really means it, huh? Well, we'll see about that next time. So, that's going to be it for this episode. We will come back next time and continue on in the National Park Girls Reunion Tour, where maybe there will be actual romance in this fucking visual novel.
Give me a
But
beer.
I'm guessing no. So, until then, the future is very uncertain. What is certain is you guys are awesome, and there'll be more Two Bros Game Night tomorrow. See you then.
Goodbye.